Debutant Hamish Rutherford and Ryan Doeschate both hit stunning hundreds as Essex smashed their highest ever 40 over total, along with a whole host of other records, to defeat Scotland by a massive 125 runs in their latest Yorkshire Bank 40 match in Chelmsford. Having won the toss and inserted, Scotland made a great start, with Callum MacLeod trapping Tom Wesley in front in the first over before a run had been scored. There was no sign of what was to come when Mark Patini top-edged a pull off Kelvin Burnett to be caught by Gordon Drummond at 41 for 2 in the 10th over. Nor when Owe Shah, back from the IPL, fell for a duck as he drove Drummond to Ewan Chalmers at mid-on, a wicket which left Essex in some kind of trouble on 49 for 3 in the 11th over. But then things started to unravel for the visitors as Rutherford and Doeschate, also in his first one-day game of the summer, began to go a little bit crazy. In total, this pair hit a remarkable 21 sixes between them, and if we were to show you the lot, you'd be watching these highlights for much of the rest of the day. As you see a few of them, I'll give you some stats of this incredible partnership which realised 230 runs in only 22 overs. Most of them came in the second half of the innings. Indeed, at the halfway stage, Essex had made only 112 for 3, with Rutherford securing a modest 50 off 48 balls. Doeschate also played himself in, his first 25 runs occupying 36 deliveries, before he started striking maximums for fun. Rutherford got to his ton with a 6, you'll be surprised to hear, off 80 balls, and Doeschate then just about caught him up by taking on Drummond and smacking him for 21 runs off an over. That carried the total to 230 for 3 after 30, with Doeschate completing his 100 in the next over off only 72 deliveries. It all started to get a little bit too much for Burnett, who was no-balled for this delivery being too high. Then the nerves got the better of him and he had to be removed from the attack for a repeat offence next ball, even though that went for 6. There can't have been too many volunteers to complete the over. Finally, with a total on 279 in the 33rd over, this extraordinary partnership was ended as, for once, Rutherford didn't middle his shot and was held in the deep to go for 110. And I bet the Scots weren't too happy to now see Graham Napier come in. For once he failed though, having made only 3 when he skied a catch off Michael Leask to Monib Iqbal. Incredibly, Doeschate was soon on course to become only the second man to hit a double 100 in the 40 over competition. Ali Brown did that for Surrey 16 years ago, but as the Essex man tucked into Preston Momsen, thumping him for 4 successive 6s in an over which cost 28 runs, Brown's 204 was in danger of being beaten. Doeschate had moved from 100 to 150 in 17 balls, and these maximums now saw him break more records. This was by now the highest ever score by an Essex player in this format, and he also passed Ian Botham's 13 sixes, which had been the previous best in a single innings in this competition dating back to 1986. There were still 20 balls left when Doeschate was bowled for a ridiculous 180, which had been made off only 98 balls in an hour and a half. 15 sixes and 8 fours were included. With him out, things returned to normal. Sajid Mahmood was bowled by Drummond as Essex ended on an incredible 368 for 7 from their 40 overs. Obviously, Scotland had no chance of chasing that down, especially as wickets fell at regular intervals. Tom Latham swung at a ball from Tim Phillips and missed. Gordon Goody then provided a moment of light relief for those in attendance as he was nearly run out twice off the same ball. He made it first time around but then seemed to get a little confused and was run out at the other end instead, Mahmood keeping his composure to supply the throw. Freddie Coleman was then trapped in front by a Napier Yorker at 38 for 3 in the 5th over. MacLeod guided a ball from Mahmood into the hands of Shah. And after a brief respite from the wickets, in which the visitors took their total to 119 in the 24th over, Momsen was LBW to Doeschate, whose day didn't really need to get any better. It did though, as he also had Chalmers held by Tymel Mills off a thick outside edge. There were some moments for the Scots. Iqbal joined in the 6-hitting fun by twice treating Phillips to something his own bowling had received. These fine shots carried the total to 163 in the 32nd over, and now 206 were needed off the last 8. Tender should have taken up scoring and umpiring in this game, because he did just about everything else, next fashioning the run out of Iqbal with a direct hit from mid-on. The final wicket of this extraordinary game came when Leask called out off Reece Topley, before Burnett and Matthew Cross, who made an undefeated 50, finished the game off well. Burnett was trying to make amends for his bowling. If you add the overs that Momsen had to bowl when he was taken off by the umpires, his 8 overs had cost 116 runs. Scotland ended on a respectable 243 for 8, a winning score on some days, but not on this one. Indeed, they were thumped by 125 runs, a result which puts Essex into 3rd place in Group B and handily placed, just 2 points behind the leaders Hampshire, but with a game in hand. They've now won 3 of their 4 matches.